All right, hello. I'm a little bit behind. I apologize for the delay in kicking over to the live screen. Do me a favor if you could, please. I think I solved the sound and the echo issue. If you can let me know um, what it sounds like on your end, and please let me know if there's any echo. My son was helping me in a test live stream earlier to make sure that we got rid of it, and I'm recording through the correct microphone now, which is also helpful. So, all right, let me get my chair, just getting a couple more things situated here. And in the background, you will hear my son is having to do the yard work because we're already at that time. We have to mow and stuff again. So I apologize for any background noise. Shouldn't take him too long to move out of our area. He's doing the trimming right now where the stuff grows along the house and the edges and stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to put that down. Okay. I'm not sure how much of the craft room shows in the image. If it looks a little piggy, I do apologize. I'm kind of getting stuff reorganized and resettled, and I wasn't able to get it all done before I was ready to jump on with you guys. So I'm going to give a little minute if you want to hang to let some more people come in. I have to do a flip on the project of what we're doing today because I have, I think, 1 vote for quick card idea, and I think 6 votes at last check for either, or 6 votes each for a mini canvas or an art journal page. So I'm going to do a flip of the coin to determine which one we do out of the mini canvas and the art journal. But we'll get to that in just a second. And I'm going to do a quick run through of what is coming up in Dawn's latest release for Harold the Hedgehog before I dip into anything. So that way you can get a look at everything that is in there. And yeah, it's so, oh my God, another set of gorgeous papers that Dawn has put together. The ones I have on top here are the ones that she designed. And then she did include some extra for the card making like she usually does. So, alrighty. I am going to sip my coffee and say welcome and hello. How are you doing today? If you feel like chatting, drop me a little comment in the chat and let me know where you're streaming from. And I've got all my goods together here. I'll be using the gel mediums and stuff like that, regardless of it being an art journal or a mini canvas. So that is what we will start with. And yeah, I think I got everything ready. Just trying to run through that mental list in the background to make sure I got everything that I need to get going. So I had to do a quick cleanup on the desk because of having not a lot of space to work right now. I was kind of crowded from that last project I was doing. So anyway, okay, I'm just fiddling. I'm just waiting. So thank you for joining in. Hopefully we have some fun today. And yeah, love this kit. Harold is so cute. That is the upcoming release for Dawn at Shiny Silver Treasures. It comes out this Thursday, May 1st. I had to make sure I had the right date. I keep thinking it's Wednesday, but it's actually Thursday. So much fun. Even just sitting here, I can already have ideas of what I want to do, which makes it hard when I get the kits and stuff like that to remember to do any kind of an unboxing, because I just want to jump right into it and get going. And that's, I think, the last several things that I got from Dawn, that's exactly what it was. I just started playing and making stuff, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't do any kind of an unboxing. So that is what I will be sure to do today. And yeah, okay, we got the lawnmower is coming. He's got the big guns out now. cannot believe how hot it has been. I'm here in Michigan, southeastern Michigan. The weather has been demented. So I hope whoever's watching, yours has been a lot better than ours. We're going from like mid 80s or upper 20s, depending on where you're coming from or viewing from, and then down into the like low 50s, high 40s, or what would that be? I think in the teens. Yeah, it's here, there, and everywhere. It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. Let's see. Let's make sure. Okay, let me fix the microphone and see if that helps. Can you hear me a little bit better? So you're my viewer, my friend? You can text me if you don't want a message in the chat. Is that better? More sound? I had scooched the microphone out of the way so I could clean the desk a little bit. So anyway, so how are you today, Ms. Hud? I'm definitely in clutch mode. It's one of them mornings. You know, let me open up the screen. That'll probably make it easier to see. Yeah, okay, so moving the mic was better. Plus it was backwards. Okay, cool. All right, thanks for letting me know. But you don't hear any echo, is that correct? Is it just the background noise of Jason mowing and then my voice? There's no feedback or looping or anything? Okay. Wait, it is good or it is getting feedback loop? Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm trying to give you a second to respond to the question. So I don't mean to barrage you. And I'm so happy you can make it. This is so fun. Oh, okay. Perfect. I turned the, Jason said if I was getting too much background noise, that means I have too much gain set on the microphone. So I did reduce it a lot, so that's good. Then that means it's blocking most of the extra noise. So that's good. Thank you for letting me know. I had too many options in the setting for the microphone. It was hilarious. Jason's like, oh, well, no wonder. There was like the main settings that I had, and then I didn't scroll down far enough to see all the other camera microphones were listed, and yeah, I had to shut them off. So now everything should be coming through the microphone. Does the video sound good? Is there any lagging or anything? Is it pretty steady in the stream? Let me know if I'm like glitchy or anything. It doesn't seem to be, but again, I can't see what you're seeing. And how is Lexi today? Is she doing better? Sorry, I'm trying to shut up and give you a second to answer. Oh, it is so funny. If you're alright, I'm still gonna... Okay, alright, good. Okay. And I'm just trying to wait a little minute to see if some more people jump in. I know with the time difference, but I'll probably give it maybe another 5 minutes if you can chill, and then I'll flip, and then we'll just get on into the project. And people can kind of join in. I can't believe the school year is almost over. She's better, so okay. I will get back to crafting. I will. So yeah, I'll give about four or 5 more minutes for people to jump in. But yeah, we'll update, we'll chat. so you can fill me in on more of what's been going on. And I also apologize. I did not have time to clean up the edges on my fingers, so hopefully it's not too noticeable on the camera. Not too bad, but I had the live stream up and running, or the live screen up and running just a little bit after noon, and then I was finishing off cleaning. I was watching to see if people were joining in, and then when you popped in, I think that's when I clicked over to the live screen. Because if someone isn't chatting, I only see another person is tuned in. I'm not sure who it is, if that makes sense, unless they put a chat or put a comment in the chat. So I think right now it's still just the two of us, which is just fine. If it ends up being you and me today, that is a-okay. Makes for a nice way to kind of hang out, if that makes sense. I also opened up the curtains. Is the light okay? Am I washed out or anything? Because I'm tired of the lights when I'm doing the live stream being like right in my face. So I figured if I opened up the curtains, I could get the natural light. And then I put on a couple of the studio lights, and I just want to make sure it's not too washed out. So that way you guys can see everything, and then I don't have a light in my face. Because I bump my elbow on it like all the time when I'm trying to do stuff in here. I figured it would be nice not to get into cursey words during a live stream. You know, not that I ever do that. Use cursey words, I mean. Should have made a fresh cup of coffee. It's cold, but that's okay. It'll do. All right, I think I'm going to give it another couple minutes, and then we'll just jump in. I'll flip my coin, and I'll go ahead and go over what's in the kit, and then we'll get started, I guess. So happy Sunday, my friend. It is a beautiful one, and we will take it. We already have a lot of dandelions popping up in the back. Although, you know, it takes weeds about 3 seconds to pop in and start growing. Is it this one? No, which one is it? Let me see if I can angle it away. Is that better? Is the light better? I kind of angled it, but you can still see, right? There's still good illumination where my hands are going to be. Sorry, I don't know where I'm looking. I'm looking at the monitor, I'm looking at the camera, I'm looking at the phone. Sorry if I seem like I'm out of whack. Well, I mean, I am, but, you know, that's normal. I figured doing the chat around this time, it keeps it earlier before the sun whips around the side of the building and then starts blasting in the room, because then it would be too much, I think. I'd probably blow up the light meter inside the camera. Oh, okay, we got 4. Nice. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to adjust the angle. I don't want to take the time now, but I guess if you can see enough of my face, we'll go with it. So, hello to the other joiners. I see 2 more people. So, all right. Thank you for the feedback, Teresa. I appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and get into it. So, welcome to those of you that just joined in. Before I get into the breakdown of what is in Dawn at Shiny Silver Treasure's upcoming release, I'm going to do a flip. Yeah, I can see, but that's all right. I'll zoom in a little bit, Teresa. So thanks for letting me know. Let me actually do that now so I don't forget. I don't want to go, oh wait, that's worse, isn't it? Let's see if there's a way to get any more light illuminating over this way, but without blasting. Oh no, that's not going to be helpful. Woo, that is also not going to be helpful. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry, guys. 2 more seconds. Okay, we've already lost him. Alrighty, let's see if we can get some more light. Well, I am not sure, because I think now I'm getting light in my face on the other side, aren't I? And then I got a big old thing right in my eyeballs. Oh, come on now. Okay. Get it together, sister. Alright, I think I got it now. Or why don't I do this? Okay. Yeah, I really got to revisit this light situation. Yeah, okay. Well, whoever popped in, they're gone again. Probably some random checking out to see what's going on. Okay, alright. Yeah, I think that's just going to have to be what it is for today. Oh. Let me accidentally yank the camera. Woo-hoo. Oops. Okay. Yeah, I gotta fix the lighting in here. This just drives me nuts. Let's see. Nope, can't do that. Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna go with it. We're gonna have to rely on the natural light, because if I just keep doing stuff, we're gonna be here all day while I fart around with it. And I don't think people have time for that. Alright, is that light over here okay? Is the light okay over on this side? I guess I might as well ask, since it's still just you and me. Because I also have to make sure I don't get the light showing in the camera. Oh no, okay, dang it. I'm looking at the wrong screen. No, that's going to be shiny. That's going to irritate me. Okay. Alright, I'm going to quit fiddling. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yes, that's better. Okay. Alright. I'll have to work out the kinks. I think I'm going to have to see about repositioning the one light that's right here next to me. I think I'm going to put it on the other side of the desk. I think I have room where the power strip is to be able to attach it, and then that'll make it a lot easier and hopefully put less crap in front of my face. But okay. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead then and get into it. I see we have another joiner, so hello, welcome, and again, thank you, Teresa. Okay, I am going to flip the coins so we know what project we're gonna do today. The main tie was between the mini canvas and the art journal page. So heads is for mini canvas, tails is for an art journal page. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this on camera. And it is heads. So let me zoom down really quick so you can see that I'm not cheating. And I will lift it up. We have pulled heads. Okay, so art journal or mini canvas it is, and I've already got ideas circulating in the background, so let me move this out of the way and set that over, and let me move the quarter. Okay, so before we get into putting together the mini canvas panel, let me go through the stuff that is coming out in Dawn's release. What am I doing here? I have no idea. Okay. So I'm not really going to go in any particular order. I'm just going to kind of go around and show you what it is. And just a note, for the card making kit itself, it comes in this little zippered pouch for the card making kit. And then for the additional paper pack, that would be in a little bit larger package. Not sure off the top of my head if she has a couple sizes in the zippered pouches. Oh, excuse me, air bubble came up all of a sudden. But that is how things are getting shipped now. So that way, when you're done using the supplies, you can store them in the zippered pouches. Or when you're done using them all up, then you also have the ability to repurpose them and use them for other stuff. So that was a really good idea when she started sending the stuff in the zippered pouches. So, okay. I put that note aside. So let me start with what is in my hand, which is the papers. So let me show you Dawn's papers first. And these are pages or papers that she designed, and then she cuts them down in the sizes to match what she's got for the card making kit, stuff like that. Oh, whoops. You know, it's a good thing you've got the other half of my brain, my friend. Alrighty. Well, you know, we are just getting going, and it is just the two of us again. Okay, well, I'm gonna roll anyway. Alright, maybe not quite that far. Okay. Okay, so we have the paper. Someone is calling me. I'm not going to be able to pick up. So we've got these come in the 6x6 sizes. And again, these are Dawn's pages that she has designed. And then I believe these are in the A5 size. So you've got a nice green leafy background. You've got really pretty red blooms in like a floral, not a floral, like a flourish background. And then you have a fun green and yellow, like, they kind of like look like leaves. Let me see if I can hold that up. Or they almost look like bubbles. And then you got some more of those really pretty red blooms. So that is the designer paper that she provides in the kit. And here are the cut apart, or the 6x6 pages that she includes for extra card making paper. And again, these are in 6x6 size. So she always puts in a ton of options for papers and background papers and stuff like that. This is the sentiment sheet that she has foiled for you, and it's got all kinds of art journaling words on there. Then there is a A5 sized piece of textured cardstock. This one is really pretty, if you can kind of see that. Then we have a couple sheets of craft cardstock. We have some red and green cardstock, which complements, of course, the elements in the kit. And then this is Copic friendly white paper, and she includes 2 sheets of that. And again, these are all in the A5 size. So that is the paper selection that is included for you. Okay, so let me set that aside. Then you get some packets of pre-cut embellishments. You get some wooden embellishments of Harold, like a Harold the Hedgehog, and then there's a little stand that you can put them in to do like a little decor piece. You get some handmade flowers that Dawn has punched out, and she put little gemstones in the middle. This is a pack of pre-cut embellishments, some of which look like they've been foiled for you. And then this is an overview of what would be included in here, but I don't believe any of these are foiled. So you get some leaves that have been pre-cut out, or leaf stems, I guess. Here's some of those really pretty blooms. Here's the frame with Harold the Hedgehog featured in it. And they come in different sizes, or yeah, we're still here. So you can see you've got the little ones, and then there's the medium, and then the larger size in the frame, and then there's one that's the largest size. So you always get a variety of sizes of the images, and a lot of the time she also has orientation. One would be looking this way, the other one would be looking the other way. So here's just some more. And then again, you get a variety of sizes of Harold the Hedgehog. Super, super cute. Dawn has really been learning how to draw. It has been amazing watching her learn how to create the critters and include them in her kits. She's getting really, really, really good. So hats off, Dawn. You are really nailing all the drawing and the critters and stuff. Super cute. Okay, then you get a little package of Drewsies. Let me see if I can put those up. I know the color is probably kind of hard to see through the camera, but it's a nice variety of colors in there. There's a package of foam flowers for you to use in your projects. There's some shades of red, and then there's some pink ones. Then you get a package of cute Harold the Hedgehog stickers that you can use. You get a really, really, really pretty die that is included in the kit. It's got a bee and like a flower motif here in the middle, and it's a circular die, or a circle die, I guess I should say. So there's that. You get a stencil with a bunch of different images on there. Let me see if I can hold that up if you can see how they look. Maybe it's a little better this way. So you get the stencil with different flourishes and images and stuff like that that you can mix and match. So there is that. And the last thing I believe that was included in the kit is a really pretty floral themed piece of chipboard. So one set of the cut-aparts, I believe it was this set, is included with the paper pack that I received. So all of these items, including the papers and everything, are what came from the card making kit in the pouch. And then this is a set of cut-apart sheets featuring, of course, Harold with his cute little briefcase there. And again, you get options on direction that he's facing. You get cut-aparts if you want larger sizes or different sizes for the leaf stem. Different sizes and those really pretty flowers. Different sizes of Harold in his little frame. And then here are the larger sizes. I believe she prints on A4 is the standard size in the UK. So that's what these would have been printed on. But you get two with that pretty flourish and floral background. Two with the leaf background. And then two with that cute bubbly looking background and those really pretty pink blooms. So that is the paper collection. And as always, she does offer a digital version, or you can get a printed on demand set to be shipped to you, if we can say that in English. So that is what is coming up on May 1st, like I said. So definitely check out Dawn's website on May 1st. That is when Harold the Hedgehog collection will be released. So let me get the stuff that I'm not going to be using today tucked back in. I think I might use that in some way. I'm not entirely sure. I only know now what I'm making, so I'm kind of going through options in the back of my mind. So actually, I think what I want is... Let me get a larger image, if I have one, of Harold. This might be the biggest. Let me check it for what's going to be on the opening of our mini can. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go with that size, because he's going to be the feature on the opening of the busted canvas. So let me do that. And I think I might keep a few of the blooms and some of the pre-cut leaves out to use as well to kind of decorate the opening of it. And mini canvases are probably my current favorite because they're small. It's easier to kind of fill up the space and get the layout that you want. So that is what I am. Ooh, you know, I think I'm going to dip into the pack that came in the card kit with the foiling, and I'll use one of the foiled flowers that came in the kit. So let me take out a couple because I'm not sure if I want to use small or larger. So like I said, it's good to give yourself a few options because I usually just have an idea of what I want to do and then I kind of fill in the details as I go along with the project. So let me just, might as well tuck them all in there since I've done the unboxing. Oops, sorry if this is really loud. Alright. Okay, so let me set that. I think that's it for the embellishments for this one. And then I'll decide really quick what else I want to use for this. I might use some of those, and I think that is it. Okay, might use the stencil. And let me set that aside. Okay, I think I got all my goods around here, and we can get started on the canvas part. But let me pick the paper. I think I like this color, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with that. But let me use the smaller sheet, and I'll save the larger copies for other projects that I want to do. And I will try very careful not to run my hands over the desk, because when I do that, you can hear the static will come through the microphone, so you get a lot of crackle in there. So alright, so I'm going to use this one, and I might use parts of that, so let me get that open while I'm thinking of it. I don't really have too much I have to put together. Again, because you're working on such a small space, you don't need a lot to fill in. So let me take this frame out because I'll probably cut a section of it out. Oh, yeah, let me put that in first. And, ooh, this is very thin. Okay, you know what? We're just going to set it aside. We are not going to fight with the plastic today. All right, so now we have the sorry, I was looking at a message. Let me get my stuff sorted. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Hit my glasses on the camera, or the light behind my head. Oh, there's also a pen in the kit that got tucked under the stuff. She's been providing pens in the kit, which is really cute. That's really pretty. I like that. Because, as often as I lose pens, it is not a bad thing to get more. So, okay. All right. So we are ready to start assembling. And once you have everything in place, the mini canvases really go quick, very quick. And I know there's a lot of options out there. If you've seen them, where people will cut like a circular opening of the canvas and then they'll roll and curl up the edges. It almost looks like a cut pizza by the time they're done cutting the wedges in that opening, and then they curl them up. I like to actually bust it. Like, I'll snip a hole in it and then I'll literally tear it to get the opening that I want. So I will have to put the earbuds off here in just a second and get my hot glue plugged in, because I'm definitely going to need that when we get ready to put the two halves together. So I'm going to try to keep this going pretty quick to keep this down to a minimum. So let me just tuck the elements I think I might use over here, and then to also keep it simple, I'm just going to do inking, just do straight inking onto the background, and then I don't have to wait for any gesso or anything like that to dry. It'll make the process go a lot faster for you guys. So, because again, this is just kind of like a quick live stream tutorial ish project. So as quickly as I can get it going, and then just, you have all the idea and all the concept of what you need to do to put one together. And then when you make one for yourself, you can use whatever wet medium, paints, texture paste, stuff like that as you want. So for today, I am going to just keep it simple. But I did think of another idea. I think I might give it a go. I think I might use the die. See if I can get it to, stand in as a stamp. I've seen people do that because I don't need a perfect impression, but I like the way that looks, and that might be able to add some interest onto the background. So I'm going to give it a go, and if it doesn't work, no big. Oh, wait, why am I taking that away? Wrong thing, sorry. I am working hard to keep everything on track. So, all right, so we are ready to go. So what I'm going to do then, given the color palette, I think what I might do is do a light pink for the base color on the inside that will be around Harold, and then I will probably ink up the edges of him in brown a little bit just to separate him out of the background. So let me get my brushes. I need the pink and the brown. Okay, I've got the pink. Oh, perfect. All right. So here I've got the two colors I'm going to use for the bottom part. And then what I'll do is kind of play around with where Harold needs to be on the inside once I've got everything decorated that I want. So, all right, so we're going to start with the pink and get that background going on the inside. So keep it a little bit lighter towards the middle. And I don't mind. I mean, you really won't see the edges on the inside anyway, but if I'm going to do it, I might as well do it like I normally do it, if that makes sense. So it'll be darker along the edges and keep it a little bit lighter in the middle. And one of the fun things, if you don't have a lot of time, if you're putting one of these together, you can always get variations in the ink color, even if you're using the same color, by applying it in different methods. So what I'm going to do is, since I'm going to try this out and see how it works as a stamp, I'm going to use that same pink color and dab it onto the edges of the die that would be cutting into the paper. So let me see if we can do this. I have no idea, but it's worth a shot. All right, now I cannot tell if I got any ink on there, but we will find out when I put it upside down. So let's see if this did what I would like it to. And almost. There's a faint line there, so oh well. We tried, no big. Okay, so let's see. Let me bring in another little stamp just to get some interest in there. I think I can't get the right pressure on this kind of a surface, but it was worth a go, in my opinion. All right, where's my stamps? Let's see what's in here. Ooh, okay, we have some really pretty floral. Let me just do the leaves. Let's keep it simple. And again, I'm still going to showcase the concept of where you can get variations in color even if you're just using the one ink. So we're going to just do some stamping. Not worried about if it's not perfect. and that sort of thing. Because again, some of this may show, some of this may not. It's just about kind of adding the layers in and build up your composition. So let's see how that looks. So here we go. So that looks pretty good right there, because you can see some of the leaves, and some of that will show through the opening depending on where I cut it. But this way I'm kind of covered regardless of what side most of the opening ends up on when I start tearing the canvas. So let me clean, oh, right in front of me. You know, put the paper towels in front of me for this reason and forgot they were right in front of me. That's normal, I guess. So I'm just wiping off the ink. Hopefully this is not really loud. Okay, and before I see about attaching him, first let me do two things. One, let me ink him up. And again, I'm going to use a little bit of brown. Let me see what's on the brush. Just to help break him out of the background and kind of tone down some of the white of the border on there. I don't want to take the time to kind of fine tune the fussy cutting. I'll just leave it as Dawn cut it, and that'll be okay. He is super cute. I am so glad this was the critter I get to showcase, because he is just adorable. We love Harold. Okay. All right, so let's see. Look through the viewfinder. Let's see how that looks. And let me hold it up. See if you can see. Yeah, sorry, lighting. I really got to work out the lighting here. So you kind of get the idea. I know it's a little dark, but you kind of get the idea of where he's going to be. So he is ready to attach. So let me move this and this. I will get back to these colors here in just a second. And one of my other out of many addictions is white splashes. So I am using Dr. P.H. Martin's pen white ink, and I think this is like for calligraphy, if I'm not mistaken. It's not the same exactly as the bleed proof white that he puts out, but it's pretty close. It does pretty good in that case. So let me get this open, and let me get a small brush, because it's such a small canvas, I don't want too big of paint splattered globs on there. So this is where a smaller brush will definitely do a lot better and not making it get too crazy, if that makes sense. So, all right. And again, I'm not bothered by what does or doesn't show through the opening. Something will, and it's fun just to kind of see how things shape up when you get your final result at the end there. So, okay, just a few more. Okay. I'm trying to use my cheater reading glasses only as needed. I decided to put the contacts in today, so I'm not having to constantly push my glasses up. It gets a little irritating after a while. Okay. All right, let me see. I think I want a few more. Let's see if I can get some better flicks here. There we go. Okay, not too many. Okay, all right, I'm going to swoosh that in the water and set that aside. I'm going to put this aside right now to dry. It shouldn't take too long because they're not huge splatters. So let me set that to the side, and I'm going to work on the inside here. And I think what I want to do is, I really like that green, and I think it would complement it if I did a green on the inside. So I'm going to add one color here. Give me 2 seconds to find the shade that I wanted to use. Did I get it out? Let's take a look. I got some yellows. is here? Nope. I do not have a green. That's 2. That's the wrong shade. All right, I'm gonna have to pop off my earbuds. You'll still be able to hear me. I just won't be able to hear myself because I put the earbuds in to make sure that I'm not like talking too loud, if that makes sense. So 2 seconds. My inks are right here. Oh, ouch. Okay. Foot went numb. Oh my god. That is hilarious. Good thing I didn't have to walk that far. I would probably tip over. Okay. What do we got? Let's see. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. We are going to do some bundled sage today. And I'm going to come back to the chair and not sit on my foot because my leg is like asleep. Really asleep. I'm surprised we couldn't hear it snoring. It was so asleep. All right. Okay. So again, while the bottom part of the canvas is drying, I'm going to introduce just one more color. I'm going to bring in the bundled sage. And these are the Tim Holtz lines of the Distress Oxides, if you're not familiar. That's what I'm using today, in addition to the P.H. Martin's ink white, or pen ink in white. Let me just clean off some of the twisted citron, I believe is what this is. And as long as you're using the same ink and within the same color family, you can reuse the brushes, just so you know, if you use them. Same thing if you use like daubers for your inking. Okay, so just want to get a little bit of color in here because I think the green, that pale green, will look really nice in contrast to the pink that's going to be in the background. And then I'm still kind of debating what side or what color I want on the top. Or I could leave it plain and just do some stamping. That's also an option on the top part of the canvas. So I'm still kind of working out my options. All right. Okay, let me see. Do we have enough? Okay, I'm going to need my cheaters now. All right, let me come in with another little ink blending tool here to kind of fill in those edges. Oop. Okay, I just like got the dropsies everywhere all of a sudden. Also normal, that is a normal day in the craft room, y'all. If I'm not dropping 50 things in a craft session, I wonder what is the matter with me. So, okay. All right, so hopefully I am working at a good pace for you guys, not going too fast, not going too slow, because again, I'm trying to keep this down to a quick and easy little project. All right, I think I'm good with that on the inside. And let me take these back off. Okay, all right, so let's take a look, see what do we want to do. I think I'm going to go with a little bit of pink on the top, as well as a little bit of, now where did it go? Oh, here. As well as a little bit of vintage photo for edging and adding depth to the frame. And if the blending doesn't come out exactly perfect when you're working on the top part, that's okay, because remember, you are going to be cutting and opening up that top canvas. So I'm just putting color down and not worried a whole lot about how perfect the blending is going to be. because when you open it up, the variations in color can add interest to your project, if that makes sense. So let's switch to, and I think while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and use the vintage photo, or I'm sorry, gathered twigs was what I was using, to the edges, just to finish off the edges of the top part. So let me go here. It's just, I like to do the little details to finish the project, so that is why I'll just take a second and finish off the edges on the side. Alright. And then what I'll do when I'm done inking this and I have whatever on the top part that I would like before I'm ready to put the two halves together, I'm going to plug in my hot glue gun really quick. So, alright. Teresa, I think mostly today it's you and I. Okay. Alright. So there's that. And let's take a look. See, I think what I might also want to do is do some more stamping like I did on the bottom layer and kind of bring that same pattern out to the top. Let's see if there's something I can put under here to give me more of a flat surface to stamp on. Again, not worried about it being perfect, because yeah, that's not working. Okay. We're going to be cutting into that canvas, so perfect doesn't matter here, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. So there's that. Let me clean this off again. Where am I? Need another piece. So once you get a groove on, the only reason why this is taking as long as it is for me is because I'm doing the explanation as we go along. But once you've done a few, I mean, they just go really, really, really quick. So, okay. Okay, so there is that. Let me set that aside because I don't think... Oh, thanks. Thank you, my friend. Let's see, is there anything else that I want to do? You know, I'll think about it for one quick second while I plug in my hot glue gun. Hold on one second. Well, you'll still be able to hear me, but I won't. Yeah. Okay. I just keep forgetting somehow that if I take those out, suddenly you can't hear me. And that is not true. Alright. This is what I knocked over. Okay. Alright, so here's the hot glue. And that should be more than enough hot glue that I need to put the two halves together. Again, because they are so small, the two frames. And if I didn't say it, they're 4x4 canvas panels. One in the stretched frame and the other in the flat panel. Alright, so let's see. To avoid melting anything on my desk, let me get the little, what the heck do you call it? I'm brain farting on that. Okay. Yeah, I think you know what I mean. The thing you put hot stuff on when you're having like hot coffee. Oh my god. Coaster. The coaster. Thank you. Brain was able to remember what that word is. So this will not take long to warm this up. I'm just trying to get it in a way where it's not gonna just fall on the floor. So I have to plug it into an extension cord to be able to reach from the wall to the desk. So, okay. All right. So I got my earbuds back in so I don't start yelling at the camera. And let me start by putting together the bottom panel because we should be good. It should be dry. Let me check with my glasses and see, does it still look shiny? Let me dab it just to make sure. I think it's pretty much ready to go. Yeah, might have been a little bit tacky in some spots, but not bad. Okay. All right, so again, let's position our friend here. And what I will do, I usually do, is tack down the focal point first and get it in the position I want it to be on when I start cutting into that top part. So let me go ahead and do that. And what do we want to use? What is this? Oh, that's texture paste. We do not need that today. Let me go ahead and get, this might be the better choice. This is the our glitter glue. This is the one that dries pretty strong and pretty quick. So let me get that going. So just putting on enough glue to hold it. Because again, when you put the two halves together, pretty much anything that is not tacked down will end up staying in there, if that makes sense, once you put the top part on. But I do just like to be sure that most of it is getting attached to that bottom layer. So, okay. So there's that, and let's see how that might look. So let's kind of, yeah, I think I might do that. I think I'm also going to go ahead and tack down one of the little foiled blooms. Is that one of the no, that's not foiled. I'm sorry. Where's the foiled one? I'm losing my stuff. Okay. Yeah, I think I ended up not. I think I will save that for another project. I think I'm just going to focus on using Harold the Hedgehog for today as a focal point. Alright, where's that little one? I had one out, I thought, in the foiled. Alright, well, let me dig through my stuff again really quick, if you don't mind, and get another one. Let's see, where are they? Okay. I think I put them all in the one package. Am I right? Yep. Okay. Alright. Okay, just checking. Alright. Let's find the foiled ones. I thought that'll be really cute. It's got that little bit of bling peeking out. Wait, is that it? Oh, I found it. Okay. Sorry, I had a little friend pop in to say hello really quick. So, alright, so I got my little foiled piece, and now I do realize Harold is a boy, but I just really like that flower there, so I'm going with it. We can pretend he's going to vacation in Hawaii. You know, guys wear flowers in Hawaii, right? Isn't that a big part of the culture? There's no shame in that. It's decorative. Okay, so I think there will be good. Yeah, let me do that. Okay, let me get my glue. Ooh, we got an air bubble. Guys like flowers too. Just saying. Okay. Alright, so just get that down. And again, I'm not sure exactly how much of that will be peeking through, but some of it will. So it's, again, just putting some details in there so you have some interest. And I was going to edge that, but that's sort of dumb because it's going to be covered, right? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so let me set that aside and let's add a little more detail to this. I believe I want some more splatters. Yes, I do. And I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to stay with the white rather than introducing too many colors, because again, I really have to work hard to stop when the little voice says to stop. That is not my strong point, but I am getting better. These might be a little chunkier, but you know what, that's okay, because the biggest ones will likely get pushed or folded over in the opening, so I don't mind as much for this part if they're a little bit bigger. And then when it's all done, then I think what I'll do is select one of the art journal words and attach it and have fun. And we'll have a little word for the day for Mr. Harold. Okay, all right, let me get that put away. And I think we're still doing pretty good. I think we're like about an hour in, and like the first 10 minutes of that was getting the stuff prepped, so that little lag in getting started. So we're coming in to about an hour right now. So let me check the hot glue. Yep, I think we're about ready to go with that too. So let me get the pin back in here, and I am going to use a little bit. I have a little bottle, yes, of collage medium. So what I like to do, what I prefer to do, I don't always, depending on time, but if I have a minute, what I do like to do is I do a combination of the hot glue and a collage medium to put the two halves together. The hot glue gives you that instant bond to hold it, and then while this is drying, this is going to be a more permanent bond when everything is done. And then what I will also do is come in and finish it off with some of the nautical rope to hide that seam. That's like my favorite medium to use, but you can use ribbon, you can leave it open if you don't mind. You know, whatever you have on hand that you would like to use to cover the seam of the two halves, you go ahead and go for it. I would recommend doing the hot glue because again, it gives you that instant hold. And if it's something that has, if it's like a fabric kind of a material, like the twine or the ribbon or something like that, the hot glue will hold perfectly fine, and that will be more permanent in terms of attaching like the fabric-y stuff. So that's what we do, or what I do typically. So like I said, since I have a minute, I'm going to take advantage and use some of the collage medium and some of the hot glue. And what I typically do is put the collage medium in the sides, and then I will put the hot glue in the corners and then press it together, and then everything will stay put once the hot glue cools off. So sorry, brain was a little bit glitchy there for just a second trying to explain it. So let me move that out of the way. And where did I put the other flowers? I keep moving stuff away that I took out to use. I am so sorry. I had the other little flowers to use on the top layer, and I keep moving them. Okay, I think that. Okay. All right, let me just flip that so it's not getting stuck to everything, and then yeah, let me tackle that stuff till once the two halves are together. So let me just go ahead. I'm going to kind of speed the process up a little bit for some of these larger dabs. Okay. Just so I'm not picking up ink on the scissors when I start cutting into it. So, And a good pair of pointy scissors will be perfect, but if you have a craft knife, you could use one of those too to make little slits. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it started. And then I like to finish the opening when it's set on top of my focal point, so that way I can see exactly how I want the openings to look. And then I just start yanking. So I just want to make sure I have enough variety in opening, or what I'm peeling open. I'm sorry, brain glitched out there for just a second. So, is that right? Okay. And it is just so satisfying. See, I really like the way that green really looks pretty against that pink color. And that's what I was hoping for. So sometimes I'll come in and I'll kind of like distress the edges, but I think today I don't want to do that. I'm just going to leave it that nice, bright, soft shade of green. So let's finish getting the sections opened up where Harold's face is at. And I think we are good to go. I just figure if it's a busted canvas, I'm going to actually bust it. So no shade to any of the other styles that you may have seen. It's just what I prefer to do, and I think just because it is fun to rip it. And I think I'll add some extra distress elements here. Okay, I'm going to take one other moment because I want some of the embellishments to go under the opening or the flaps. That was the word I was trying to think of earlier. I want to make sure I have a good amount of flaps for the opening. I'm going to attach some of the elements under the flaps. Like this one might be too big, so I might have to cut that in half. And I will take a second and ink up the edges like I did the other pieces so it's all cohesive with the brown. But I'm just kind of trying to get the positioning where I want it, if that makes sense. So this is where it can be handy in working in smaller projects, helps you get a better handle on composition and layering and, you know, just learning how to put all the elements together. So I think that is good. Okay, I like that there. And I do want some of this, so I'm just going to go ahead and snip the chipboard apart into little sections, again to add extra interest. So I don't want to lift it because then my fingers are going to shift. Let me zoom down here really quick. I know it's going to get a little bit darker, but you should be able to see what I mean here. Is I like the way that looks down in the corner, and then I'll do a little something similar up here, so that way you can see what I mean of learning how to put the composition together, coordinating colors, or, you know, just stuff like that. It's a really good, easy way to learn to build up your skill set in terms of mixed media. So tiny can be mighty. It could be a mighty good learning tool. So I'm going to leave this the natural color. I'm not going to ink that up. I had thought about it, but I like the way that looks with the flowers and the little leaf stem there. So let me just set that aside while I do the inking. And let me get another little section. I think this will be good for the upper part. Because again, sometimes less is more, and that's where it gets important in learning how to listen to the voice when it tells you to quit. So that is what I am going to do today. So this will be up at the top part with the smaller flower, and this one will be down here with a little bit larger section of the flower. So I am done with that. So let me tuck that to the side. And I like saving even the little bitty bits of the chipboard because there are other ways that you can use it in other projects. So let me, I do not want to add more ink. I'm going to use what's on it because I don't want to make it look brown. I just want to tone down the white the way that I did in the other elements on the inside. And again, I probably would have done a little bit closer fussy cutting thing, but again, I did not want to slow this project down and keep you guys any longer than I needed to. So since today the project flipped the way to the mixed media or the little mini busted canvas for the next live stream, then I'll go with the other half that wanted to see an art journal page. Then that's what I'll do in the next project on my next live stream. So just to be fair. So, okay, so those are all inked up. All right, I think this is good to go. I'm going to go ahead and attach my halves. So first thing to go on, like I said, is going to be the gel medium. And then I will use the hot glue in the corners. And I try to do a little bit generous. Well, okay, maybe not that generous in one spot, but I do try to go a little bit more generous with the medium when I'm doing something like this. Let me try not to spooge it out as bad. And then I'll smear it around a little bit with my fingers. And it does dry clear, by the way, the gel medium, any kind of like collage medium or something like that. But I just really like that permanent bond, so that way I don't have to worry about the hot glue separating at some point in the future. This way I know once it's together, it will stay that way. So I'm going to come in with just little blobs of the hot glue in the corners and working a little quick. I am going to get the two halves together here and do it without burning my fingers. Okay, so thank you for sticking with me so far. I feel I'm doing pretty good keeping on track here today. Okay, so let me set that down here just to make sure that the hot glue is good and set, so that way I don't accidentally shift it around or anything like that. So there is that. Okay, and let me get the glue off my finger. Okay, so let me set that aside because I'm going to attach the embellishments with the art glitter glue. But let me get a smaller bottle. That'll make it a little bit easier. And then I also don't have to worry about too much glue coming out on me to attach the smaller elements, if that makes sense. So hopefully we're still doing good. Hello to anybody that I missed coming in and out of the chat. I see people popping in and out, and that is A-okay. So let me, for this I better put my cheaters on. Okay. All right, so this is the ones for the top corner, and this is for the bottom. So this one's going to go on first. And obviously the parts that are going to hang off, I don't have to worry about gluing. I just want to make sure I have enough on there to hold it in place. So let me just be sure that's where I want it. Yes, okay. These little bottles are a lifesaver rather than having to sit and handle the whole container or the whole bottle of glue sometimes. It makes it nice to have the smaller bottles you can fill up with your main bottle of the glue. Yeah, that can be a big lifesaver. And because the chipboard is so light, I don't think I'll really have to worry about using any kind of a gel medium. They usually stick pretty good with just regular glue. So that is what I'm going to use here. And again, the art glitter glue also does dry clear. So I'm just using the thing here to press it into place without getting glue everywhere. Okay. All right. So that corner is done. So now I'm going to go ahead and permanently tack down that one flap of the opening. And you don't need a whole ton of glue to do this. You also have the option, if you want to make them look a little bit different, where some are kind of curled up, some are more flat. You can, while the hot glue is still wet, you got a little minute to manipulate it to look the way that you want. So this one, I like it a little bit rolled up, and then I'll do things a little bit different on the others. So, all right, so let me not do that. I was going to swing it around, but let me keep the perspective from the way that I'm looking at it. So we got that. And do I want this under? Yeah, I think I like that under. So I'm actually going to go ahead and tack that down first. Let me hold it in place roughly so I remember where it's going to go. And again, because it's chipboard, you don't have to use like a heavy gel medium or anything like that to hold it. It'll stay with just a regular glue, if that makes sense. Okay. So let me press that down for just a second. I do like the fact that the art glitter glue does dry quickly. Sometimes it's bad if you put the wrong thing down, then you typically cannot get it back up. But, you know, when you're using it effectively or properly, it's really good. Really, really good hold. So, all right. Let me fold that down so I know where to put down the flower. Okay, I think that was the direction I wanted it to go in. So we're going to hold that down. We are almost done, you guys. So doing good, keeping the time pretty good today. Okay, now I'm going to go, now that I know where everything is where I want it to be, I'm going to go ahead. Let me close this up so I don't forget and use my hot glue gun here to tack that corner down, and then we can finish working the opening. So, okay. All right. Okay. And you can always snip and adjust the flaps to look the way that you want to once you've got it pulled open, or whichever method that you're using. If you like the curled edges look like a lot of the more traditional busted canvas projects use, that is totally fine. This is just a personal preference for me, but again, I am not throwing any shade on any of the other methods that people use to do the busted canvas. All right, so we got one more flap over here. And maybe just a few finishing touches. And that is about it. Because you can see what I mean. We'll take a little bit closer look. You know, let me shut this off now so I don't forget. One, because it'll protect my elbow if I accidentally pull on the cord. And two, it will reduce the hazard. Okay, so that is safely tucked out of the way. Oh. Hopefully it's still hot enough. Let's see, is that still, you know, let me, while it's still hot, let me get out a little bit more of the hot glue while it's still soft. Okay. I will feel better. Okay. All right, sorry, 2 seconds while I make sure this is going to stay down this time. All right. I feel like we need something shiny here. You know, let's do this. I like that little straggly part. All right. I'll hold that there for a little minute so the pieces, that little straggly part gets tacked down. And then I will see, I think we need a little bit more bling. And because it looks like that's like a coppery gold kind of a color, I think that's the color that I'll use. I'll add a few little gemstones, but just the small ones. So I'll grab some of those. Oops, that was too soon. Crap. Okay. Keep your hands still. Rule number 1, don't forget what you're doing. All right, let me take these off because now I can't see. Oh, okay. Can she reach the gold from here? I think she can. This is where it is a really good idea to keep all the things that you use most frequently in your crafting right by your desk, so you don't have to do the hunt and peck to find them. So, okay, here's some gold. All right. Try not to tip over out of the chair. Okay, yeah, I think the gold will be really cute, but I'll use the small ones just to add that little bit of bling. So let me dump. What size have we got in here? Let me shake. Are they on this one? Nope, those are too big. Okay. I think this side has the smaller side. Yeah, perfect. I think this size here, this little size, is good. And I just realized I'm still zoomed in, but I guess that's all right. But let me zoom out just so I don't forget, because I did. Okay. All right. So I just want 3, because again, we already have 2 spots where there's foiling. Yeah. Is there foiling on the inside one? No, there's no foiling on the inside. So we got some bling here, and then 3 more will keep the bling still to the odd numbers. So there's 2 foiled flowers and then 3 little gold gemmies. And let me put these away. Sorry, 2 more seconds. So this has been fun. Hopefully, you know, I've picked up some good tips and stuff on how to do like the mini canvases. They're really easy. The only reason, like I said, that it took this long is because I was talking and explaining what I'm doing, but it's a project that once you get it down, it goes really, really, really quick. So it's something easy you could put together for a little decor piece, for a quick gift, you know, whatever you want to use them for. You can get one put together really, really easily and be out the door with whatever you're doing with it. So, all right, I will need my glasses on again to see where I am putting the gemstones. Let me get my little makeshift gem tool. Sorry, I think I have to go under the camera. Oh, crap. Okay. Trying not to knock anything. So I got my glue. And I'll do a little dab. I think we'll go this way. So I'll do one in this corner. That's probably too much glue, but again, it will dry clear. And then the final thing, oh, dang it. You know what? I'll do the rope thingy around the edges off camera. I don't want to take the time since we're nearly done to turn that thing back on. I almost forgot. I was going to use the little rope or the twine to cover the seam, but that's okay. They don't look horrible if you don't, so it's not something you really need to stress over, if that makes sense. But it's just one of the little finishing things I typically like to do, but I can let it go for today because I don't want to keep you this close to the finish. Let me go back this way because I'm losing my perspective of where I want the other one. I think we'll do a little bit here, right on the edge here. And all right. Yeah, I like that right there. Perfect. Well, okay, keep it there. All right, let me take these off. And we are complete. Our little mini canvas. And I absolutely love Harold the Hedgehog. He is so adorable. Oh my goodness. I love it. So I'm going to carefully hold this up, give you one more little peek-see, and just a reminder that Dawn at Shiny Silver Treasure's next release, Harold the Hedgehog, comes out this May 1st, which is Thursday of this upcoming week. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. Teresa, thank you again for your assistance in working out the kinks. And yeah, in the meantime, you guys take care, stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.